contest evening. Such lovely weather outside, right? I was just having pakora and chai. Okay, so are we excited about the contest? Are we all prepped up? Are we ready to battle it out today? I can't hear anything. I
Yes,
can
we
see
are.
Mr. Dinesh on. Perfect. Okay, so how about we get some creative juices flowing and we break the ice before we get onto the battleground? Here I am back with my riddles. Before I ask you, just remember this is nothing too much to think about. It is the most quirkiest answer you could ever find, right? So, question number one: how many bananas can you eat if your stomach is empty? How many bananas can you eat if your stomach is empty? Yes, Mr. Dinesh.
One, because after one, your stomach is all full.
Yes, one, because after that, your stomach is no longer empty. Very
Yeah,
good.
so
That was smart. So,
you're one of those people that before the exam comes and asks us questions, and and the candidate is trying to focus everything. But I'm just joking. Carry on. Just joking. Carry on.
perfect. Just one more before we move on. So a farmer has 20 sheep, 10 pigs, and 10 cows. If we call the pigs cows, how many cows will he have? Anyone but Mr. Dinesh. No more Mr. Dinesh. Come on.
Finish was good.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Okay. A farmer has 20 sheep, 10 pigs, and 10 cows. If we call the pigs cows, how many cows will we have?
10.
How?
What do you mean, how? A cow is a cow.
Okay, smart. So yeah, 10 cows. We can call the pigs cows, but that does not make them cows. Very good. Smart thinking. Let's move on. Um, Before I get on with the rules and the vision of the club, I would just like to extend my thank you to Toastmaster Dinesh and Toastmaster Amita for yet again giving me this role today. And I am so thankful for it. So thank you very much. Now, just like every other Toasters meetings, we have a few ground rules to mention. May I please request everyone to put their phones on silent? I hope that's already done. Okay. Now, as a Toastmaster, we have three taboo topics. We don't talk about sex, religion, or politics. So let's please refrain from discussing these topics. And lastly, especially since this is an online meeting, let's try our best to not talk about over each other. If you wish to speak, please use the raise hand button. Now, we all have a mission in life, and likewise, our Toastmasters Club also has a mission. So, may I please recite the mission, and please feel free to recite after me. The vision of Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. Perfect. I can see Mr. Dinesh reciting after me is by hearted it. Okay, so for today's contest, we have two categories to compete in, the international and the humorous speech contest. Now, let me introduce the contest chair for the evening. We have someone who's been a dedicated Toastmaster for the past 3 years. She is a committed homemaker and she has three graduate degrees under her belt. And she is someone who's a very passionate Toastmaster with core values of integrity, discipline, and honesty. And apart from being a Toastmaster, apart from being a Toastmaster, to speak, let's welcome none other than Toastmaster Amita as the contest chair for the evening. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rosalind. So nice to have you and hear your bubbly voice. Thank you once again. So respected Chief Judge DTM Usha Mohan, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening to all of you. It's my privilege to be your contest chair once again for the Humorous Speech Annual Club Contest of the Showstoppers Toastmasters Club for the year 2022-23. It is said that laughter is the best medicine, but if you're laughing for no reason, you may need medicine. So don't worry, dear all. We are here to have a good humor from the ebullient Showstoppers contestants to let our hearts laugh out aloud. Speech contests are an important part of the Toastmasters educational program. Speech contests provide an opportunity for speakers to gain contest experience and to recognize the best speakers as an encouragement to everyone. Contests also provide an opportunity to learn by observing for the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters training. Contestants, our chief judge today is DTM Usha Mohan. Please join me in thanking the judges and the chief judge. Before we commence the contest, please allow me to state the rules for this contest. The contestants shall have 5 to 7 minutes to deliver their speech. A contestant will be disqualified if the speech is less than 4 minutes 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes 30 seconds. The contestants have been informed of the timing signals. For the benefit of the audience, the timing signal shall be as follows. The green light will be turned on after 5 minutes. Timer 1 will be showing the timer cards. I request the timer 1 to display the cards for benefit of everyone. Yes, and it shall remain on until the amber light is on at 6 minutes. And this will remain on until the red light is shown at 7 minutes and will remain on till the presentation is completed. Thank you, timer. No indication will be given to the contestants if he exceeds the time limits. So beware of your time. Timing will begin with the contestants' first definite verbal or non-verbal communication with the audience. It has been confirmed that all the contestants are eligible to contest as per the TMI contest speech rule book for the Toastmaster year 2022-23. After every contestant has finished, there will be a 1 minute silence for the judges to mark their scores. Protests may only be entered by the contestants or judges to either the chief judge or to myself as a
Same Toastmasters pretend.
Hello. Okay. Once the result of the contest has been announced, that all decisions are final. Now let us meet our contestants. We have, totally 5, but we had 6 contestants initially. 2 have dropped out. So we are here with 4 contestants. Please allow me to introduce the contestants in the speaking order as determined by a draw of lots. I request all contestants to switch on their cameras and say a hello when their names are called. Contestant number 1, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thanks.
Judges, please note contestant number 2, Utkarsha, is absent. Contestant number 3, Toastmaster David.
Hello.
Contestant number 4, Toastmaster Kazi.
Hello.
Contestant number 5, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Hello.
And contestant number 6, Deepansh, is absent. So let us all give a round of applause to these contestants. Thank you. Best of luck. Now, a quick look at the technical glitches. Contestant reports at the contest but loses connection before the start of the speech. Then the contestant calls the next contestant to take the stage. The previous contestant must join back before the ongoing speech ends and will be called on as the next speaker. That is within 7 minutes you have to join. If unable to connect, that contestant has to forego the contest. If the last speaker loses connection before starting, he is given 7 minutes to reconnect. If contestant loses connection during the speech, any time of the speech, the contest chair or the chief judge stops the contest. Timer 1 stops and notes down the time elapsed. 2 minutes are given for reconnecting. The contestant picks up from the last word and does not get any grace time. If the contestant cannot connect in 2 minutes, the next contestant will be called upon, and this contestant will be given an opportunity as the next contestant. Okay, in case of failure to reconnect, then the judges mark on what they have heard if the speech has met the minimum qualification time, that is 4 minutes, 30 seconds. If the speech has not met the minimum qualification time, the contestant gets disqualified. So are there any questions? Great. So it's time to begin the contest. Timers and tally counters, are you ready? Contestants, are you ready? Great. So audience, we are the audience. Chief Judge, DTM Usha Mohan. Ma'am, may I seek your permission to begin the contest?
Definitely. Let's start.
Thank you, Chief Judge. Okay, I call upon the contestant number 1, Toastmaster Dinesh. Dinesh, is that your virtual background? I hope not.
Right. Yes, it is. Just 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, that is better. Okay, please repeat the test sentence after me with a big smile to confirm that you are clearly audible and of course you are visible. I am relaxed and calm.
Relaxed and calm. Wasn't that a nice nervous smile?
All the best.
Thank you.
So our first contestant is Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinesh, Indian gestures I learned growing up. Indian gestures I learned growing up. Toastmaster Dinesh, over to you.
Can I see the timer? Sorry, give me a second to pin the timer on. I'll change my view. Sorry.
The timer is spotlighted.
No, I was on the other wrong view. Thank you. All right. Did you all see that? No, people. If I am not trying to hit on the judges or RCJ, DTM Usha, these, my friends, if you're from the Indian background, would understand is an Indian gesture. Others misunderstand that I was trying to impress the judges and say to them, you're wonderful. Good evening, Chief Judge, fellow judges, my fellow contestants and guests. My name is Dinesh, and today I'm going to speak to you about some of the Indian gestures that I learned growing up. You see, as Indians, I believe we are the most expressive people in this world. We do not believe in being subtle. I do not know if it's all the Bollywood in our country or Tollywood or the Indian films, or is it our genetics? But we are full of melodrama. Unless and until we do not use 100 to 200 muscles to give one expression, is not considered an expression. So let me start by sharing with you some of the stories I learned growing up. Gestures. First, you see, I am a Gulf child, Gulf-born child, and I was the only child. And there, when I was naughty, I learned our first gesture called the ignition gesture. So what I would like you all to do, audience, judges, if you are able to, I would like you to try and reenact with me. Put your hand out, hold the key like this, as if you're holding a car ignition key, and turn it this way. Except that as an Indian parent, it was not the key that they were holding, but your ear that they were holding. You see, if I did anything wrong, the first thing that my mother would do is catch my ears and turn it around and round like as if it was a car key, or she's trying to use a mixer. But this gesture was not only limited to my parents. I also learned that this ignition key gesture was also used by my teachers. I'll give you an example. My history teacher asked me, you see, I was one of the outstanding students, but that's only because I stood out of the class because I was not too bright. But my history teacher asked me a question. Dinesh, what is a Boston Tea Party? I said, teacher, I don't know. I wasn't invited. She said, stand up on the bench. I stood up on the bench. I said, teacher, I still can't see where the Boston Tea Party is. And there she got pissed off. And you know what she did? She came to me. Oh, she saw my ear. It was all swollen. So she took my arm here, took the ignition key, held the skin, and turned it round and round and round to pinch me, to teach me, you have to behave yourself, Dinesh. You know what was worse? That thing would leave a green mark, and that was a green signal to all other teachers after that to say he's game. If he's naughty, you can take on him. So that was the ignition key. Let's come to the second gesture. For the second gestures, you probably have to stand up. You see, this gesture is used a lot, again, when you're not listening or when your mom is angry with you. For this gesture, you stand up, you turn around. I hope you all are doing this because I can't see you all. And you raise your hand up like this. But it's not a raising of the hand, because if it's raising of the hand, you may all think that someone's blessing you. No, 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 it's not that. With this comes the expression. Big eyes, frown, lip, tongue out. And that means, it's called a hull. It's the first stage. You listen to me, otherwise I'm going to give you one. And God forbid, if I ever spoke back to my mom, that would turn into a forearm tennis thing and you would get it on your face. And that would tell me that that was wrong. But sometimes I thought I got lucky and I would move away. And that gesture would move into the next stage. Again, the same posture, guys. This one, hold it like this, expression. Except that when you're going this motion, you pick a chapel and you throw it at the child. Chapel, shoes, socks, in case people do not understand. So that was a gesture that I learned there. Following that, that also went on for teachers who, if I wouldn't listen in the class, would take a chalk and hit me, only if parents were part of the Indian cricket team. I think we would have wonderful fielders. Coming to my next gesture is this. Put your palm out and hit it on your head. This is a sign of disappointment. This I got every day on my birthday. You see, on my birthday, I got my report card. While report card was wonderful, it had a lot of red lines on it. So when I would come home and my dad would see, or my mom would see, oh my God, you failed again. You're gone on your dad, haven't you? And she would do this. God forbid, she finds out her friend's child in my class got better marks than me. This would move to the next gesture. Same thing, but you move your head. She says, oh my God, why did you embarrass me? Why? So that was the other gesture that I learned. This also went in with one more gesture. When I decided to marry outside my community, something that was not for my thing, I saw one more gesture that was, my God, why did I not die with this? My friends, last but not the least, when I went to India to study, I learned, I was this Indian boy that says, Bajiwala, how much are those tomatoes for? Couldn't get any response. There I learned this gesture. This means how much, what, where. It's a universal thing. It was also to get the attention would be, so that was that gesture. Kitne ka tomato? Where have you been? Where are my keys? Why did you do this? Folks, I'm sharing these gestures with you because I think they're extremely amusing and misunderstood at times. However, the message I would like to leave behind. This worked for our generation, but today's generation tells us that it's not the right way to do it. There's a lot of our stuff that is embedded into us, like what our parents did, but with emotional intelligence, this doesn't work. If I did to my child, his friends would think I was doing something wrong. If I did this, I would be emotionally torturing them. So my friends, that's my Indian gestures. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. We shall have 1 minute silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please notify after 1 minute. You can remove the red color and time for 1 minute.
One minute is over. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, timer. Can we have the second contestant? Sorry, the third contestant, Toastmaster David. Toastmaster Utkarsha is absent. Contestant number 3, Toastmaster David. Zoom Master, can you spotlight Toastmaster David, please?
His video. He's not. Yeah.
David. Please switch on your camera.
Yes. Camera is on. Am I audible, visible?
Okay, now you are visible. You weren't visible till now.
Oh.
Okay, contestant number 3,
Fortune.
Toastmaster David. My Karela story. My Karela story, Toastmaster David. Over to you.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, my fellow contestants, contest chair, respected judges, audience, all 18 of you. Today, I'm going to be taking you on the most magical, inspiring, captivating, motivating, tragic, heartbreaking story that you would ever hear. It is titled My Karela Story. Karela. Not Kerala, Karela. But first, I just have one request. Zoom, please don't mess up. I beg of you. Before we start, timer, I'd like to give a quick icebreaker about myself. 30 seconds is all I require. So 20 seconds, green, 25 seconds, amber, and 30 seconds, red. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hi guys, my name is David Isaac. I'm a third year student at Westford, and I love food. Food is my most favorite thing in the world. I eat everything and anything. My record is having 60 wings in one sitting. However, I have a kryptonite. Like Batman has Joker, David has Karela. Damn, I made it on time. Now, why would I have a problem with Karela? Well, for starters, as much as people tell it has so many health benefits, all it does is leave a bad aftertaste in my mouth. Imagine this. You're having biryani, nice, rich aroma smell. And then you have Karela, pungent, sour, bitter. Like the translation for my international audience, Karela means bitter gourd. Imagine having something like that. So, David, the easiest thing to do, don't eat it. However, there is one problem, dear viewer. Karela is also the most favored vegetable in the Isaac household, run by yours truly, Simi Marcos. Who is that? My mother. If we ever have the discussion of Karela, World War III occurs. No one ever wants to watch that because the conversation goes like this. David, have Karela. Mother, no. You eat Karela and other food everywhere else except mine. Mother, I agree. So we avoid it completely until yesterday. I got invited to my friend's house for lunch. We went on board hippity hop, hippity hop, hippity hop. I kept pestering her. Hey, where is the lunch? What's for lunch? She says, it's a surprise. It's a surprise. It's a surprise. And I'm thinking, a surprise better fill up my belly and it saves my wallet. No more takeouts. Economy. Think about that. We reach a house, and of course, you want to make a good impression to the parents. Obviously, I'm David Isaac. I meet uncle, and I say, "Hi, uncle, how are you? Did you see the match last night? Amazing. Auntie, wow, what food? I'm so excited. I have a blocked nose, but I did not forget to mention the aroma is so beautiful. She has a happy face. She lays the spread over there. There is rice. There is rajma, which is beans. There is curd, dahi. And there is this white curry over there. I ask, Auntie, what is that curry? She says, it's my favorite dish, my most special dish, Karela curry. Audience, do you know those moments in life where you wish the world just eats you up? It was that moment. And do you know what Auntie asked afterwards? David, I heard that you eat everything. Yes. So why can't my daughter be like you? Eat everything. See, can't you be that? Do you know what that gave me? Flashback of Sharmaji's beta. I became that. In that moment, I get a phone call. Ring, 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 ring. I open it and see it's my mother. I answer and she says, what's for lunch? I mention Karela. My mother says, come home, and cuts the phone. There you have it, my fellow audience members. Life's biggest problem is Karela. All it has caused me is bad breath, World War III with my mother, and a lie I have to live forever. Because, do you know what Auntie asked me while I took that first bite? David, how is my Karela curry? I've had it for a long time. It's been in my family for generations. I look at her and say, Auntie, it's just wonderful. Members of the audience, listen to me when I say this. Here is my call to action. Don't eat Karela. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. We shall have 1 minute of silence for the judges. Timer, please notify.
One minute is over. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, timer. Can we have contestant number 4, Toastmaster Kazi? Please repeat the test sentence after me. I forgot to do this exercise with the previous contestant. Sorry for that. Please repeat the test sentence after me with a big smile to confirm you are clearly audible. I am relaxed and calm.
I am relaxed, which you can see on my face, and calm.
Okay. Possible for you to place your camera so that you can be seen till your waist down, at least a bit. Okay. Okay, can you speak now? Yeah, just speak.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you're clearly audible and visible. Thank you for that. So contestant number 4, Toastmaster Kazi, he has informed he will be using a prop. Toastmaster Kazi, dirty nose. Dirty nose, Toastmaster Kazi. Over to you.
How many of you had been to India during COVID? How was your travel experience? How strictly your friends, your relatives, your family members, even doctors and nurses in India in hospital were following the COVID protocol? Let me tell you a few of those instances today. Good evening, contest chair, chief judge, panel of judges, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. Traveling during COVID-19 was a nightmare experience. Right from filling the long, never-ending form and booking the tickets, not only mine, but for my complete family, it was very horrifying experience. And then you have to be in the long queue for the PCR test. But I must tell you one thing, that we are very lucky to be residing in this country, wherein we have got very smooth facilities and top class facility. It was a smooth drive-in facility, wherein you don't need to get out of the car even. Medical workers will come to you. The only thing you have to do is roll down your window and expose your dirty nose. Even after reaching in Indian airport, the first thing they will ask you to go for the PCR test. There, the process of getting the PCR test done itself is the punishment. They have installed big cabin, and it's an opportunity for them to make a lot of money. It was priced ridiculously high. And they have installed big gloves extended out of the cabin. The only thing you have to do, that you have to stand outside the cabin and expose your dirty nose, not directly this time, but through the transparent glass of the cabin. During COVID time, we were behaving differently. We were mindful of what we are doing, where you are going, where we are touching. I went to the washroom. While opening the door, I did not touch my hand. I opened the door with my elbow. I went in. I switched on the water tap with the tissue. I lifted the toilet seat with my food. And again, while coming out, I ensured that I should not have touched the handle. I used the tissue to pull the door and then complete door with the elbow and then went out. So we were all behaving differently. But in India, nobody is bothered. Even they were not wearing mask even. Even if they wear, it will not be covering their nose and mouth, but only mouth. That too, most of the people, not even much, it's lower than the mouth. So I was surprised, even at the hospitals, the doctors and nurses were not following this. I had been to the hospital in India where one of my distant relatives died due to COVID. And we were all standing at the safe distance so that we should not get affected by that COVID. But there was one uncle who was not even wearing the mask like this, but like this. And then he went straight to the dead body. He opened the cloth which was covering the face and then again close it. We are all standing there at the safe distance. And he did all these things as if we are all waiting for him to give the confirmation that the body is dead. So people were not following any kind of COVID protocol in India. They were not social distancing. They were not even washing their hands, sanitizing it. Even in my home, I requested my parents, at least especially my father, that every time he comes back from outside, I requested him to please wash his hand and sanitize his hand. But you know what he used to do every time? Every time he comes in from outside, he will keep his belongings. He will keep his watch. He will go straight to the bedroom. He will keep his watch. He will take out his mask, and then he will keep his key. He will take out his shirt, and then he will go and wash his hand. I'm like, Dad, you're supposed to sanitize yourself, wash your hand before getting in, before touching anywhere. He will say yes, and then he will repeat the same thing every time. So it's like an unsettling reversal of our teenage years, where we have to request our parents not to go out, keep washing their hands. That was the COVID time for us. So I stayed in India for around 5 months because of lockdown and border closure. Even in spite of having time, the most of the time I used to lie on the bed. My mom used to tell me during my school days that lying on the bed, you cannot accomplish anything. But during COVID, I told my mom, I'm lying on the bed and saving the world. So in spite of having so much of time, apart from lying on the bed, the other thing which I love having is food. I ate a lot of food. I gained a lot of weight, so much so that my belly bulged out. So much so that the button of my shirts started social distancing. So we had time. I was gaining weight. I used to eat a lot of food, but then I could not go to gym. Have you ever thought that you will avoid going to gym to stay healthy? That was the COVID time. So after spending 5 months in India, I returned back to UAE. The first thing at the airport they asked me to do, they guided me again for the PCR test. This time, the medical worker asked me to sit facing the wall, and she took the swab from the back even without seeing my nose. So I missed again an opportunity to expose my dirty nose. Over to you, contestant.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kazi. Timer, we shall have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots.
1 minute is over. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, timer. We shall have our contestant number 5 on the stage now. Toastmaster Sri Devi. Toastmaster Sri Devi. Okay. We have our contestant number 5, Toastmaster Sri Devi. She has also informed that she'll be using a prop. So contestant number 5, Toastmaster Sri Devi, take turns. Take turns, Toastmaster Sri Devi. Over to you.
Silence is golden unless you have a toddler. In that case, it's very, very suspicious. I feel this so very true every time my little one says, Amma, I'm going to get a toy, and returns with a pack of chips from the kitchen. Good evening, contested, respected judges, and fellow Toastmasters. When we were planning to have kids, we were like, we'll have someone as cute as you. No, we'll have someone as cute as you. And we will make him sleep between us. We had no idea, absolutely no idea of the trouble we were getting into until our son was born with chronic colic issues. Let me explain. A child with chronic issues does not sleep all night. So he would sleep all day and wake us all night. Exhausted, we decided to sleep in separate rooms and said, let's take turns. After having our daughter, we couldn't even say that because each of us had a child in hand. Sleeping all night has become the biggest luxury for us ever since we had kids. Nowadays, like normal couples, we don't wish each other good night. Instead, we say, good luck. When you have a child, you become a parent. And when you have your second child, you become a referee. That's exactly my position most of the time at my home. I didn't watch my favorite. No, Amma, I didn't watch my favorite, say the kids. And I, being an impartial parent, say, take turns. The toughest part when it comes to kids is to put them to bed. 5 more minutes to go to bed, says my husband. And my daughter shouts back, no, Daddy, 10 more minutes, I didn't watch my favorite. With time, each instruction gets louder. Brush your teeth. Did you pee? I peed a while back, Daddy. No, you have to do it again, says my husband. In order to keep my BP normal, I have given this duty of putting to bed to my husband. The toughest one is my daughter. She even plays catch me if you can at bedtime. Exhausted though, we catch her from both sides. Then starts the next battle of dressing up. Arms up, arms down, arms down. Arms up, arms down, arms down. Arms up, arms down, arms down. There stands my exhausted husband. Say your prayers. Go to sleep. Close your eyes. That's the only way to sleep. And finally, when they are in bed, we adore them. Oh, honey, how cute they look when they are sleeping. And they say, we are still awake. That's the limit of patience. We shout back, go to sleep. Luckily, our parents belong to an era when there was no parenting literature and no parent counselor. No one told them how to raise kids. One went wrong, we'll raise another one. Daddy, why did you and uncle fight? Not for kids to discuss. Dad, can I take a career of my choice? No, you cannot. Dad, can I at least marry someone of my choice? No, you can't. They never had to explain anything. But nowadays, they scare parents so much. Recently, I attended a webinar organized by my son's teacher on parent language, according to which the child's behavior and language is largely influenced by the parent. How can you blame the child's behavior and language entirely on the parent? Because the child interacts with so many people each day, his teacher, his school staff, and even a puppy on the road saying, "Hey, doggy." Two kids growing up in the same household turn into two different individuals. One becomes Aditya, the other becomes Uday. One becomes Mukesh, the other becomes Anil, or both become Rahul and Priyanka. And report cards these days are so complicated. In our days, we just had marks of 5 to 6 subjects and a common remark every year. She's doing good, can do better. I sometimes wonder if they had a stamp for this remark. But nowadays, the reports are so complicated. Recently, I attended a PTM of my kids with my husband. Unable to comprehend, I asked him, should we give our child a toy or punish him? Ever since I've joined Toastmasters, my entire approach to kid has changed. Now, like Toastmaster evaluation, I use a sandwich method. I sugarcoat with their strength and tell them how they can do it better. So in order to reduce your stress levels, ladies and gentlemen, let's divide our parenting duties among one another. Over to you, contestant.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sri Devi. So she was our last contestant for the humorous speech contest. We shall have full 3 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please notify after 3 minutes. You can remove the yellow color, timer.
Two minutes are over, 1 minute to go. 3 minutes are over. Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, timer. I request our Chief Judge to kindly let us know if we can proceed with the rest of the proceedings.
Can we just wait for a minute? Because I'm still waiting for the judge.
Yes, sure. Okay. Timer. Okay, the Chief Judge will let us know. Thank you.
Chief Judge, is it like we can't talk or like can we interact? No.
We need absolute silence.
I think you can go ahead, Toastmaster Amita.
Thank you, Chief Judge. So that concludes the humorous speech contest of the Showstoppers Toastmasters Club Area 64 Division P for the Toastmaster year 2022-2023. Presentation of participation certificates. Zoom Master, please can we have the participation certificates displayed for the contestants? Toastmaster Dinesh, Toastmaster David, Toastmaster Kazi, and Toastmaster Sridevi. Thank you all, dear participants. And can we have a group picture with all the contestants? Chief Judge, please switch on your cameras. We can have a group picture. Okay, we are done. Zoom Master?
Not yet, 1 second.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Zoom Master. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us all give our contestants a round of applause. That was a wonderful contest. And this concludes the humorous speech contest. We shall have exactly 3 minutes break, and we all will join back again for the International Annual Speech Contest of the Showstoppers Club.